A democratic form of government, the elected people have all the power because, obviously, they were elected. They speak for the population. So in the executive branch of government, the president has the final say because he's the elected one there. All the bureaucrats work for him. They have to obey him because he speaks for the population of the country. That's how the system works. So in the federal government, the president has the constitutional authority to declassify whatever he wants. They don't have to follow procedures set by Congress, separation of powers. The Supreme Court established this back in 1988. But we learned today from the DOJ search warrant affidavit that the FBI is looking into the, quote, unauthorized possession of documents at Mar-a-Lago under the Espionage Act. So today, this seems insane. If you think about it for a minute, Joe Biden was asked, how is that possible? And of course, he doesn't know anything, including what day it is. So he responded by mocking the question.
President Trump said that he declassified all these documents. Could he have just declassified them all?
Well, I just want to know, I've declassified everything in the world. I'm president. I can do it all. Come on. Declassified everything. I'm not going to comment on it because I don't know the detail. I don't even want to know. I'll let the Justice Department take care of it.
Yeah, I don't know the details. It wasn't coordinated with the White House. Actually, it was coordinated with the White House. It was. What liars. So what is in this affidavit, this heavily redacted affidavit released today? Well, Harmeet Dhillon is the person we go to for questions like that. She is, among other things, the chairwoman of the Republican National Lawyers Association, and she joins us tonight. Harmeet, thanks a lot for coming on. So what have we learned from this document?
Well, it is heavily redacted. I'd say about 50% of it is redacted. But what we've learned is pretty consistent with what Merrick Garland came out and said, namely that this is a dispute about documents. And I think what's really striking when you read the unredacted portions of the affidavit is that this is indeed a dispute. There are two sides of the dispute, and yet there are some major chunks left out in what the DOJ told this judge, this magistrate judge. For example, there's no discussion in here about what you just said, namely the power of the sitting president of the United States to declassify documents, which I think is very clear. There's no discussion about the Presidential Records Act, which gives the former president a significant chunk of time to go through these records that he possessed and went through, and then determine which should be made public up to 12 years after he leaves office. And so this is a very one-sided presentation of facts. But it isn't completely silent on details. I think the DOJ maliciously left the name, for example, of some of President Trump's allies, specifically Kash Patel is specifically called out and named as somebody who has commented on the president's declassification practices during the time he was in office. This, of course, puts a target on Kash's back and has been the subject of much glee and hand-rubbing on the other networks. And so I think this is a great example, if you're a lover of civil rights and the Constitution, of how the United States Department of Justice can be used to weaponize and target political enemies. It is an abuse of that process to do that, but that's exactly what we're seeing in this affidavit.
Really quick, in one sentence, we were told at the outset by Joe Scarborough, among many others, that there were dangerous nuclear secrets in this trove of documents. Have you seen any indication that that's true?
Tucker, the people who run the DOJ, they fetishize these markings and all this bureaucratic stuff they put out there. They have to. It justifies their existence. No, there is no evidence of that in the unredacted affidavit, Tucker.
Thank you for that. Harmeet Dhillon, great to see you tonight.